Hi everyone, my name is Merval. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you're finding me for the first time, make sure to hit that subscribe button and make sure to turn on the notification bell for more videos like this. Without further ado, let's jump straight to today's video. Alright guys, before we do that, I need to pick up my glasses at my doctor's office. I got a notification this morning that my glasses are ready to pick up. You're going to be asking me, why you're wearing glasses? Yes, I know. These ones that I'm wearing right now were prescribed to me for one reason only. You know, sometimes when you're driving at night and there are other people driving from the oncoming traffic and they got their high beams on crazy because they think they can't see right at night, right? It kind of blinds your vision. So they have built it with certain, they call that thing anti-reflection, something like that. So it's built into it. So I can still see normally during the day, but it's more designed for nighttime. So I'm about to go into the doctor's office right now, pick up my glasses, and then we'll get back to the video. So stay tuned. Movie here. Hello. I'm picking up my glasses. I got a message this morning.
What's the last name?
Thanks. Oh yeah.
How's your vision feel?
It feels good.
Okay.
Great. Oh, just pick up my glasses. I'm heading back to the car and drop to go continue filming. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, let me kick things off by taking you straight to my farm. So obviously, I'm not in Congo right now. I'm in the United States. But you already know, I never stop. All right, I never give up. I could be here in America, but I'm still sending money back home to do things that need to be done, especially if I don't have to be there to get it done. So you know, I've shared my experience with you when I had built my pig barn. I wasn't even in Kinshasa, but you guys saw the results. They're right there. The pig barn is built, even though in certain areas I was not really excited with. The final product is still great, but I agree with the roofing. The roofing really looks shady. Does it matter? Probably not. But I'm one of the I'm the kind that I want things to look in a certain way, but they did it the way that they saw fit, which is not an issue at all. But moving forward, I would like to bring more resources, or maybe spend a couple $100 to just make it look the way I want it to look. But I'm gonna get into that just in a minute. But for now, let me tell you what's going on now on the farm. So you guys know I've shared the story in my last video where I talked to y'all about the reason why I almost dropped down. But then I got pulled back up. Now I'm up and running. So if you're interested in seeing that video, I'm going to link it up here somewhere you can go back and check it out. All right. So what is happening here is that we are back. The activity is taking place now on the farm. But first and foremost, let me show you what the farm looked like before it was almost abandoned. All right. And then I'm going to show you what it looked like after I started already working on it, and what it looks like now after I am doing things within the farm. So this is what it looked before it was almost abandoned. Well, so you guys know back in March of 2023, I started the tree planting campaign within the farm. That's what I call it, right? That's my own term that I use, to spice things up a little bit. Well, the reason I did that because we not only that we are creating the forest within the farm to benefit from natural habitat, to benefit from natural breeze. So you don't have to live in a space where it's a massive land, but there is no greenery to fall back to. All right. So that's the idea behind it. Plus, on the top of it, we are going to be producing fruits and many different things within the farm. and also sustain ourselves in a way that if we need food, the food is available on the farm without going having to go to the grocery store to purchase anything. With plantain, avocado, and many other things. So I have almost everything I could possibly need for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and dinner within the farm. But that's not the end of it, including desserts as well. So we're assuming by a couple of years down the road where these trees are fully grown and they capable to produce fruits or vegetables. So we know that we are all set. It doesn't mean that I will never have to go buy things at grocery stores or at markets, because I'm not gonna have everything that's available out there. But I want to have the diversity of certain things that I might probably need for lifestyle, so that way, if I don't have to, I can just get everything from the farm and dinner is served. On the top of it, we got animals and everything like that. So of course, we needed weed management, right, within the farm. If you're interested, I'm not gonna get into the reason why we would need weed management. So if you're interested, I have multiple videos about weed management where you can go back and check out. So I'll link them everywhere on the screen here. You can click on them, finish this video, and go back and watch those videos so you understand why is it important to do weed control when you are managing your farm or growing crops within the farm. So the weeds, it's not supposed to be there. So it is your responsibility to take care of the stuff that is happening there. All right. So on the process of doing weed control, we came across certain things. Some of them interesting, some of them are not. All right. So the most interesting things that I'm about to share with you is this little guy over here that is just happened to pay a visit, but unfortunately he didn't make it. How did it die? I can't tell you that. I just received this footage like this. I thought it was cool, so I'm sharing it with you. All right. When you finally start running a farm, you feel good about yourself. You see the world differently. You just don't farm because you think it's a hobby. It's a cool activity to do, but you have to be aware of the amount of work that's needed, the amount of work involved. So you will have to be involved such a way that you will need to like almost invested in it full time. And you guys know my current situation. That is actually the end goal. The ultimate goal is to permanently move there to run the farm. But I am still in a building phase. The farm is not completely built yet. So one of the reasons why is that we are building this so when we are ready, and I feel like the income that I am generating from the farm, it's enough that I can sustain myself here financially. I mean, there in Kinshasa financially, then I'll move back and stay over there. All right. But I'm not in that position yet because I need to be here in America to keep my job to finance the projects that I got going on within my farm. You understand what I'm saying? So when I make money, I save up, I send money there, I get things done, and I come back. I do it back and forth. But at the same time, I'm gaining more and more experience and I'm becoming more and more familiar with doing business or running a farm in Kinshasa because I am at least there once a year to kind of get the feel of it, to see how things are moving. And eventually, depending on how things move in the future, I might be taking 2 trips a year, so I'm a little more involved. So by the time I'm ready to start taking those 2 trips a year, I would assume that the income that the farm is generating from the activities that are taking place there it has reached a level where it's paying for my flying tickets and it is paying for the worker and it is just sustaining itself. What I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? And that I will feel more comfortable to continue going there, more and more. So and it will like the confidence will be built from there. And then eventually, when I am 100% certain, then we're going to pack our stuff and move over there because I really want to show people that it is possible to do business in Congo or to farm in Congo if it's done the right way and succeed. And one thing you have to keep in mind is that I see a lot of people when they reach out to me, they ask me numerous questions, and most of them are very, very interesting. And I will share with them my experience, and I also take advantage of their time to give them advice because we have to give each other advice. Ladies and gentlemen, so we all have to be aware or actually face the reality. Like, you're not going to start making profits right away as soon as you get into any business. You have to understand the struggles and the risks of the nature of the business that you are doing. And if whether after you have assessed the whole thing and come to your own conclusion and that's what you want to do, then from that point on you get to determine what you pretty much wanted to look like moving forward. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at because my first impression when I started, like I already knew that I wasn't going to be greedy and hope that I make money right away. Well, how am I going to make money if I don't even have the infrastructure needed to run the farm? I'm talking about building structures within the farm, building enough structures for your livestock or different animals that I'm going to eventually bring onto the farm so that I have diversity of livestock that I can rely upon. Because when you're doing this, you don't always have to like rely on one animals. Look around. Most farmers, they always have that diversity. It makes it easier and possible to do things much more efficiently because you may not know what your niche is. You're not going to be able to run the entire flock by yourself, especially if you have not studied all the animals. You know what I mean? So, like, for instance, I'm gonna give you one quick example about myself. I've raised, I've raised chicken growing up, all right, in my parents' house, in my parents' backyard. I kind of, I still have those memories from years ago, but I have a pretty good idea what to expect from chickens, for instance, right? I've never spent time with pigs like that. My dad had pigs in his farm, but I never really got a chance to be around them like that because back then I was a kid. I was afraid of pigs, like I was terrified. But now I'm a grown man, and even the pigs that I had back on my farm, I never actually personally had a chance to see them face to. Oh, actually, no, no. Let me rectify that. I only saw them when we first launched the pig. When I first started pig farming. Remember, you guys, like when I first got into farming, I bought these two piglets, right? I started with. That's the time that I saw them, and then the second time it was when I flew to Congo within the next year, which was back in 2021. They were not staying at my farm at that time. They were staying at a friend's farm. So while they were staying there, I remember we were working on a perimeter of the farm. So while we were working on that, we had spent the night over at his house, and then the next morning, as we were getting ready to go back onto the farm to continue where we left off the previous night, that's when I went in his mini barn and checked on the pigs. So per se, I have never been around them enough to kind of know their behavior, to kind of know like what it's like to raise pigs, right? For me personally, it'll be a new experience as well. So probably people that are going to be there, that are going to be taking care of them, are going to have the most experience than I ever will. But me, what I have to do now, I just have to remit to stay practical, reading books, knowing what to expect. So when that time comes, when I'm able to move down there permanently to farm, then I am going to learn a little bit about pigs. You understand what I'm saying? So going back to infrastructure, so you have to keep in mind you will spend money first, and then uh, think about profits later. Don't just go in there and hope that you'll be making profits right away. No, that's not how it works, unfortunately. I'm warning you so you know what to expect. So you have to be prepared to spend depending on how big you want your farm to be, how ambitious you are. So I want at one point I would want to reach a commercial level where I am able to distribute or even sell to local markets like an enormous amount of animals, whether it is chicken, pigs, and eventually goats and lamb as well. Those are the animals that are consumed on a daily basis in any part of the world. And in Kinshasa, just in case you missed one of my videos where I discuss a lot of bars, clubs, they don't sell alcohol without meat. And one of the most popular right now in Kinshasa is goat and pork. So if you know you own a farm, you own a in pig farm, and you have animals that are big enough to enter the market, you know you're gonna make money off of them. All right. So there are just so many things that you have to think of when you're doing that. So me, I'm just spending money. Right now with everything I have spent so far, I have already passed well over 15K right now, and it's the number. It's only going to grow because that's not the end of it. I built the barn. I'm planting trees. I'm doing X amount of work within the farm, and also I am building a one-bedroom house within the farm, also for my stuff to have a place to stay, or even my brother or some other people that are going to be involved in the farm, the success of the farm. They want to go do something on there, or whether it is just supervise them or just make sure things are running smoothly, and they feel like okay, they don't want to go back because it's too dark or it's too late. They can have a place to stay. They can sleep on the farm. All right. So I started with that at least so I we have some sort of shelter and where you feel safe and secured. And that's one thing that we're doing as well. But I am not going to talk in depth about that on this video, but it is something that I needed to mention so you know it's already happening, it's taking place. But stay tuned and keep those alerts turned on because I have a video about that as well that I'm working on, all right? But in meantime, so you stick around to the end of the video so you can see what is really happening around the farm as we speak, all right? So now, I had mentioned earlier where that they've done all the weed control already, pretty much. But now what they're gonna have to do at this point, we hired people to continue to to level the weed because it had taken over the trees that we had planted. Some of them had even died, unfortunately, but most of them are still alive. But we just have to keep an eye on it. All right. So going back when I mentioned things about infrastructure, so when you building on your farm, keep in mind there are so many things you have to put into factor. So me personally, for instance, my farm, I own it in an area where water is very, very rare. It's scarce over there. So the only way I get to have water is if I build a borehole. So I know I've shared this with you guys that I had hired this. It was not I didn't contract it with anyone, but I had hired a guy who works for a borehole company to do the estimate. They studied my land and they saw that there's water on my land, but it's like 50 meter down the ground. So they're gonna have to bring the machine to break the concrete that's underneath the ground. And like to cut long story short, they were asking for 27,000 US dollars, which I didn't have. I'm like the $27,000. I would rather build more stuff on the farm than just spend money on it. But I had to pump a brake on that one. So now I'm not considering doing a borehole. According to the guy, he said that you could spend way less money, just like as less as like $4 or even $6,000 to get a borehole. But according to him, depending on the land, according to the guy, he's like my land is just so vast, and the you know it goes way deep on the ground to reach water that probably not going to serve me for a very long time. But like the one is going to build me is going to, be a lifetime type thing. I don't know how credible that information is, but it still remains to be verified. Maybe I just need to work or talk with other, what you may call it, speak with other agencies that are doing that and just see what I can do. But in meantime, before we talk about borehole, so we have water available on the farm, because keep in mind these animals, they consume a lot of water. Pig is one of them. Goat not so much, but they still need to drink water, to stay hydrated. Chicken as well. All right, so I need to make sure that chicken have enough water on the farm, so when they're feeding and they're drinking water, and that's how they grow fast. All right, but I also have other resources that I can do, or we could build something as a way to collect to rainwater. That also work really well. But it is another thing that I will share with you when we are ready to do that. So those are the infrastructures that you got to think about. So that's why the land price will also will also vary depending on the area. All right. So now that the prices are going up everywhere, you just got to keep that in mind. It's one of those things that you need to be aware of, because when you have water available right there, the land is going to cost you a lot more. When the water is a little bit scarce, it's still going to cost you a little something, but it's not going to be as expensive as it will if water was available on your land. So those are the things that you got to keep in mind. So like me, I'm just going to continue to spend more money to build uh, until I see some results. But in meantime, I've already said this and I shared this with you guys. The moment this house is built, is complete, I'm going to bring the animals back right away. So we are going to start off with, you know, like a boar and a sow that is ready to be bred and move forward from there. And whatever the plan that I have for the farm, we're just going to talk about it in other videos, all right? So this one was more meant to address those issues as well, and just bring awareness to you guys, so you know if you're getting into this, the things that you have to keep in mind. Weed control is one of those things that you're going to have to spend money on, a little bit more, especially when you are growing crops. So like me, I really don't have to worry about that as much, as far as my trees that I'm planting are growing, because when those roots expand underneath the ground, it stabilizes the land and the weed won't even grow on there anymore. So it'll pretty much turn it into a forest, and I will benefit from it, just because of the things and the infrastructures that I have happening there, whether it is green and so forth. All right. So, and another thing I was trying to get at is that get into it as quickly as possible when you still have time. I talked to you. I didn't. I briefly touched on this, but the land price where I own mine are skyrocketing now. And last time I spoke with my guy, they even told me that very, very soon they will not be selling those agricultural land by hectares anymore. It'll be, if you want to buy, you buying like a size as if you were building in a residential area. It'll be like 20 by 30 or 25 by 30, whatever, things like that. You understand what I'm saying? So while they still have available lands where you could purchase acres of land, this is the time to do it. Because if you wait, I'm, excuse me, I'm sorry, my land is for myself. I'm not gonna give it up. I'm not gonna sell it to anyone, because it's too important to just sell it, because I have plans for what I have available. I could have went above and beyond the 15 acres that I own, but based on the things that I want to do, I think I have just enough to do that. But if I get to a point where I feel the needs to upgrade or even expand, I will do so. even if it's not available anymore in my area, I can always go to like Congo Central or some other places because agricultural land is not an issue in Congo at all with all of the millions of arable lands that we have available for agricultural activities. So those are the things you got to keep in mind too. All right, folks. So I hope you're enjoying this video so far. If you are, make sure to hit the like button. And don't forget to share with a video with a friend. And why not subscribe if you've been enjoying my content, all right? So that's also another thing that I just wanted to mention there.